and welcome to a special edition of the Deployment Daily, a part of the 538 Connection podcast network, connecting our community to the VA mission. I'm your host, Claire Barker, and joining me today is the Executive Medical Center Director, Mr. Ken Mortimer, and our very special guest joining us all the way from D.C., Deputy Secretary of the Department of the VA, Dr. Paul Lawrence. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to be here, Claire.
So today we are talking the Federal Electronic Health Record transition, or more commonly known as the Federal EHR. And as of June 6th, it's officially here.
Right on.
The big question here, for those who may not know, what is the Federal EHR?
You want me to start?
I think you should.
All right. So it's a digital record of all our veterans' health information from their time in service all the way through present times. It's easy to access for veterans, for the providers, and it's all in one place. I think that's the thing that's always sort of annoyed me about, imagining a veteran coming in and say, how many times do I have to tell you the story? How comes you don't know? Why are you sending me to this test that I previously went to? It's going to be so convenient and so much more focused and enable so many more things in terms of transportability and the like. So it's very, very exciting and really sets in motion, I think, some pretty amazing things for us in the future in terms of the new tools and the ways we'll do medicine. So it's all very exciting stuff to me.
Yeah, I think it's, like Dr. Lawrence said, it's a tool for our veterans and for our staff. It allows our staff to have, an industry-leading tool in their toolbox to capture the work that they do every day. It doesn't replace the exceptional care that they provide. It gives them a better way to manage it and connect more effectively with their veteran. It's phenomenal. We're really lucky to be getting it this soon in the deployment pattern.
Well, this sounds like a wonderful project that we have going on here. And Mr. Mortimer, you've been overseeing the electronic health record transition at the Chillicothe VA for roughly around 3 years now. From a local perspective, what has it been like to tackle such a big challenge?
It's been amazing. I mean, it's really strange to say, you're taking on this big thing, but it has highlighted for me just how blessed we are in Southern Ohio to have a team. I'm partial to the Chillicothe team, but it's really shown me what you can accomplish with dedicated people who are coming together around a common goal. And those people have really made this happen. And so I'm not someone who's ordinarily lost for words, but I am. I mean, I'm lost for words because I'm so just blown away by the dedication of our 1,555 staff.
And I imagine, Dr. Lawrence, that there are a lot of moving parts when implementing at multiple sites, such a large project all at once. How does the transition look from a national viewpoint?
Really good. I think after Michigan, everyone now believes it is possible. I think there was natural doubt and skepticism given our journey here. As Ken points out, he's been doing this 3 years, 2 years too long. So I got that, and we can't change the past, but we can really change the future. And so after Michigan, everyone can believe it can be done. Now the question is, how can we do it? And so I would say the rollout is planned. As you might have heard the Secretary Collins say, people are coming up to him all the time and say, can we move further up in the schedule? So people are checking out to see, okay, Michigan was nice. Is it one and done, or can you do it again in Ohio? And I think once this kind of gets out there, everyone's going to want to go fast, so I'd expect more. And probably some of the headlines are, and you understand this personally, is when we look back at Michigan, kind of what were the things that people talked to us about? Most were training related, also connecting the devices. There wasn't any unusual stuff. It was just the blocking and tackling. And as we get better at it, I think it's going to make it easier.
Right.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit about some of the future sites, but you have also visited around 20 of our medical centers talking about this transition. What have you learned about local VA facilities when you are doing those visits?
Yeah, so first I started with the 26 sites, the sites that would go live in 26, and I saw, as you know, a couple times went through, kind of make sure things were going right. Now the 27 sites, I'm starting to see them around. They are ahead. They've talked to you all, they've figured it out, and they are excited. They're doing things. Many of the people have either worked here, as you experienced, worked in a site that's gone live, or the like. They're talking to people who've done it, so they are learning faster, and they're very excited. if when I visited you all before, there was understandably skepticism, there's none of that. It's
Right.
all excitement. They're very much talking to their friends about how their lives or their medical, practicing medicine is going to be different. So it's very, very positive. They are catching the money. They have mascots. They have theme songs. They have stuff. They've made it fun too. So it's really good to see that it's a big project, as Ken pointed out, but it can be fun. I don't mean laugh in the street fun, but you can make it enjoyable as you're all working together really hard, and that comes across too in the visits I'm doing.
It sounds like they're really getting on board with adopting.
Yes.
And I think that's been one of the big keys for us, has been pushing adoption. Let the technology, there's a lot of smart people working on the technology, but the sites, I think we're seeing more and more energy around the importance of adopting, and just, we can do it. Let's start from a place of positivity, and that
Right.
feels good here, and I'm sure it feels good elsewhere.
Yeah, and I've talked about the schedule discussion. We talk about 30, 60, 90 days, 30, 60, 90 schedule. People were saying, do we have to stop at 90? Can we do this, make it 30, 60, 90, 120, 150?
Wow.
Because we are thinking further out. And now the conversations are coming exactly where you were going, Ken. What's next, right? So when it works, what's next, right? And that's the adoption
Right.
conversation. That's the thing about, okay, wow, this is going to be exciting to figure out once you
Yeah.
kind of know how to drive the car, how fast you can go. What are the different things
Safely,
you can do?
I hope.
Yeah, no, but what are the things you can do? So it's exciting.
Yeah.
If the first visits that I came, we're sort of, okay, we got to get the engine going. We
Yep.
got to get. It's really all going to happen. This is like, wow, they're really energized.
That's got to feel good in your seat.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you the physics of trying to figure out how we get everybody to go next. You know what I'm saying? I once, my past life, as Ken might know, I was a consultant, so I worked a lot. And one of my things I worked a lot with the Postal Service, and I would interact with the Postmaster General. And I remember talking to him, he says, one of the cool aspects of my job is I get to choose the new stamps. Well, that's pretty cool. And he goes, I thought so too until I actually had to do it. We get about 30,000 idea for stamps, and I get to choose about 30 stamps. He goes, I make 29,970. Mad at me, right?
Yes.
So I was having the same moment. Okay, everybody can't go. Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, okay.
So people and the connection and the adoption are an important part of the process, but we all have veterans at the center of our mind. And so, Mr. Mortimer, we're a very rural VA here. And so what kind of impact can we expect on those rural veterans?
I think, first of all, I think it's all about them. And I think it's very easy, and I've spent the last 7.5 years of my career working with veterans primarily in Appalachia. And I think there is this idea of very community-oriented healthcare. And I think the impact on them is only enhancing that, is really bringing them, helping us bring the care to them, bring new tools, leveraging the ability to partner with our peers at larger facilities to bring it to them. But for rural veterans, my hope is that they don't see any difference in terms of the quality, the connection that they make. That we use this tool, this record, to enhance their care, and what they see is more of what they love about the care that they're getting. And I think we're gonna deliver that in a big way. And I'm so proud to be alongside some of our Michigan friends. One of the rural sites, and I think we've done a good job in VA of bringing that to some of the rural sites, because it helps us help that population so much better.
And you mentioned community, and so when we deploy as a Southern Ohio market, we also get to deploy with the Cincinnati, Dayton, and then obviously the Chillicothe VA, which makes sites number 11, 12, and 13 go live. And Dr. Lawrence, how do you see us shaping the VA's pathway forward with that?
Oh, you're going to have incredible influence. People are going to come to your facility, if they aren't already, and learn about what you did, how you got so many people to the learning labs, how you've been so seamlessly going. And as the statistics play their way out, they'll see how you return to normal. They'll see things, right? Your practitioners and others will talk about it in the community of practice. So you're going to have a powerful influence of what goes forward, quite frankly. So I think just like, maybe there are fewer places you could talk to, Columbus, Washington State, and the like. There's going to be a lot more people showing up. You're going to have to have schedule the tours. You're going to have to figure out how to do that because it's going to have. That's it. And I think they're all figuring. It isn't just us saying, "Hey, go talk to people and do the knowledge transfer." They're all figuring it out and calling. It's happening now, and you're probably not realizing it. But soon it'll be
We're
more,
getting some of
soon,
that.
soon it will be more formal because we told them. In fact, I told the folks I speak to the change leadership team leaders once a month in the different places. So I spoke to the Indiana folks the other day, and I said, "Are you going to be in Ohio? You have to go there. You have to see it. You're smart, clever people." And they're like, "Yup." So a handful of them I know are.
They're already here. They were helping with our pharmacy cutover.
They're somewhere here. So yeah, it's go and see it. So expect more friends.
Hey, we're happy to have them.
And so I imagine with these deployments and learning from the Michigan sites, what major lessons did we learn from the Michigan Go Live that we can implement here in Chillicothe?
Yeah, as we were talking about before, what we would do is have the Enterprise Operations Center going where we're watching and getting all the feedback. And what I was doing was looking at the tickets. People are calling in and saying something. What are they
Right.
saying to us, right? It was primarily issues that were related to training. About a third of them. Another 15%, which almost makes 50% between the two, was devices. So that was what time was spent doing. So it was the simple things. It was, you know, the I wouldn't say the complex medical things. The workflows that needed more attention. That kind of resolved itself naturally because all the SMEs, all the community practice got together and
Yep.
figured it out, as you indicated, and when we were walking around. But it was that. It was like, in fact, when I was in Saginaw, the first day we were there, 8 o'clock in the morning. They turned it on at 6 in the morning. Got there, had a congressperson with me from Michigan. We're walking around. What happened? Walk into a room. There's 3 people in a room. One was on the phone trying to get the printer to work. and you say, oh, else maybe it was hidden in a special. It was the biggest printer I ever saw in my whole life. And you're like, tell me you didn't miss that. And you go, well, actually we did. And so, and it all worked out fine, exactly as we promised. But it's those kind of things we're learning, that it's less about the highly complex stuff. It's more about the relatively straightforward stuff.
The importance of getting the small things right.
small things
Get
right.
the small things right, and the big things will work.
That's what.
work
Tell everybody who
themselves
comes to visit that.
Yep.
Because we spent a non-trivial time handling those things, and at the end somebody goes, you realize it was a training issue. They didn't attend the class, they didn't, or we were confused in
Yeah.
the training, so we could do better on that.
All right, and final question for both of you, starting with Mr. Mortimer first. Is there anything you want the VA staff here in Chillicothe to know before we wrap up? Maybe a final message that you have for them?
So, I want to tell them just how proud I am. You mentioned that I've been in this world for almost really my entire tenure here as the director. I've seen us do some incredible things, and I feel such pride in walking this journey with you, and seeing how you respond to all the challenges, all the asks we make when it comes to adopting, when it comes to putting this work on your radar, on your plate, and delivering exceptional care to veterans while you're doing it, while you're trying to do everything else. You've been nothing but amazing. And this is not the beginning of the end. This is the end of the beginning. Where we go on June 6th, June 7th, June 8th, all the way into the future is the next stage of the work that we get to do. But I loved what Dr. Lawrence said. We get to be leaders in that. We're already leaders. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the work that we've done. We're going to do great on the 6th. We're going to do great on the 7th. And we're going to continue 102 years of greatness for veterans. So that's my message. I'm sorry, I'm getting it's kind of a little maudlin, I know, but that's just me.
Yeah, I guess I would say thank you. I know this is hard work. It's complicated. Lots of people, lots of moving parts. I could imagine there's been moments of frustrations. Great patience, great professionalism, so thank you for that. But I'd ask you to reflect upon something just I've observed in life, especially when you talk to successful business people and others along the way. When they talk about, how did you think about what you did, they generally say 2 things. I really wanted to do important work, and I wanted to do things that would affect others, that would matter. And I would argue at VA, this is the most important project we're doing right now. Secretary say was one of a handful, but I would say, I would argue with him and say, this is the most important, so certainly passes that. And of course, as you know, this will literally affect millions of people. So it doesn't get any better than this. So in terms of the satisfaction from, it works, it turned it on, it's now being done. And this is pretty heady stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that I think people will remember for a long time. So again, thank you, and great job so far.
All right. Very good.
All right. And that's going to do it for us here at the 538 Connection. I just want to thank you, Dr. Lawrence and Mr. Mortimer, for joining us today. And I want to thank you all for joining us.